All right, Capricorn, as you can see, I just hit record again after ending the general reading, which is here. I'm going to clear these cards out of the way. Very interesting, that general reading in terms of this connection. So I do want to just take a little bit of time here. I have two other decks that I'm going to use for this part of the extended reading. I do just want to shuffle them a little bit as I tune into the energy of the people who are going to actually watch this. I just want to say also thank you for making the decision to support the channel and to support me by signing up to be a channel member to get access to these extended reads. There will also be members only, like pick a card readings, members only collective energy readings that I'll be doing. So I really do appreciate it. But hopefully you will be able to get some additional insight and information in this. These extended readings will be a little bit more casual. If I need to take some time just to really be quiet and listen, I will do that. It's hard to do that during the general readings because people don't like it when you don't talk during those. So I kind of always have to be talking. So you might notice a difference in this reading versus what you're used to. But just know if I'm quiet, it is because I'm tuning in and trying to get the most information for you possible. So in this reading, we're going to take a look at what the initial pull was towards each of you from each perspective, the expectations of you and the other person around this relationship. We'll look at any issues or obstacles that might exist on both sides, you and the other person, that might be getting in the way of the relationship or impacting the connection in some way. And then the last thing we'll take a look at is what the most likely outcome is for this connection, the future of this connection. So for this one, I'm just going to, one second guys, just going to pull up my reminder here of where things go. So card, then we have 3 up top. We're just going to repeat that with this other deck. All right, so let's take a look, Capricorn, and see what we have here. Now keep in mind, we are going to be taking a look at the initial pull will be the first thing that we take a look at. And this is what initially pulled you towards this other person. What was it about them? So what you have here is there's that Ace of Pentacles again. I think that came out a couple of times in the general read. And here we have the Seven of Swords coming out here. So this is really interesting to me because the Seven of Swords, I think that was another one that came out in the general reading, but Seven of Swords represents energy where you feel like you need to be on guard. There's a certain type of defensive energy here. I think that the initial pull towards this other person for you was the fact that you sensed this inside of them. I think all of that past, the past stuff that they've gone through, I think you picked up on that. And it's very interesting because, I almost wish I was talking to the other person, to be honest with you. But I'm going to say this to you anyway, because this might be beneficial to you in terms of helping this person if you do decide to, explore something with them and you're willing to just help them gain some insight, right? When someone has been mistreated, when someone's been abused, when someone's dealt with people who are, not the best people, right? It creates energy inside of the person that's almost like a beacon, right? Where they have this energy, right? They have this energy of everyone's going to do something to me. It's a certain type of insecurity. That's the best way of describing it when I'm picking up energetically with this person. This person is, I think they're unaware that they kind of put out this energy of, how do I want to phrase? I don't know why I'm trying to be delicate. This isn't even about you. It's about the other person. And I'm trying not to offend with how I'm going to say this, but it's almost like this person's putting out a victim beacon, almost like asking people to take advantage of them, and they're not aware that they do it, and that's why they've pulled in a lot of people who have taken advantage of them in the past. Now, you perceived this inside of them. You perceived that, it's almost like a naive sort of energy, but it's not, because it's a very kind of traumatized energy. And the wrong person will see this and take advantage of it, but you saw it and you decided, hey, you know what, there might be potential here, right? Because Capricorns like to you like to be good at what you do, and you like to be successful. And I think you are aware that you could really change the way that this person views relationships, the way that they view potential dating partners, and you thought that there was some potential there. It's an interesting pull, if ever this is something that you can bring up in conversation with this person, I still think that even if this works as a relationship, until they get to that point where they really have kind of like gained some self-esteem, this is something to point out to them. Because I think it happens in areas where they aren't even aware of it, in terms of like work, in terms of their family, their friendships even. I think that they aren't aware that they're putting out energy, almost like a beacon, calling people in who will, take advantage of their goodness. I feel like this person is a really good person, though. I want to take a look and see what their initial pull towards you was. There's that Three of Swords again. This time it's coming out with the Seven of Wands reversed. I almost feel like this was the exact combination from that general reading, and I put those cards away. But, again, this person realizes that, like, you've dealt with a lot. Like, you've dealt with a lot. And, again, like, the two of you are similar. That's how I will put this. And I said this in the general reading. It's been interesting doing these extended readings, because sometimes what comes through is confirmation of energy that I already picked up, because you were there for the general reading, so I was tuning into you. It's a repeat of that energy that I talked about in the general reading, where this person realizes you have a similar life experience. The two of you have similar experiences. If you sat down and talked about, like, people who have maybe treated you in not the best way, people who have spoken to you in not the best way, people who have tried to break you down, very shared experiences. The difference, though, is in how you deal with it. Right? The initial pull towards you, however, had nothing to do with the fact that you're resilient and that you use that, any sort of energy that comes at you that's negative or that's challenging to you, you just take that energy and use it as fuel to go after what it is that you want. They did not see that initially. What they saw, the initial pull towards you, was they thought, oh, they've been hurt the way that I have. They've dealt with people similar to the people that I've dealt with. And that was that initial attraction, that initial pull. Seeing the confidence that you have, seeing the way that you've, kind of pushed yourself and overcome it, that's the thing that's really intimidating to them, because they're aware that they don't have that, right? They're aware that they, are, this person, again, like, I don't know what you guys are looking for. I feel like I focused a lot on this other person, but I think that that's what you need, because I just sense that you're trying to understand them. This person wouldn't necessarily see themselves as like a victim, or see themselves as someone who is easily taken advantage of. But they're aware that they have an awareness that their connections and the people that they've had in their life have not... like, I'm getting emotional tapping into this person's energy. It's like they're aware that the people that have been in their life, and this feels like family connection too, like maybe one parent, maybe both parents. It's just like they feel like the people that they've loved, the people that have said that they love them, have just always seemed to think that they're not worth a lot, that they're not very important, that they're not very capable. This person has a lot to try to unlock and understand in terms of understanding themselves and understanding trauma, understanding what they've internalized, trying to deal with that stuff, clear it out. There's a lot that they have to deal with. And so what I will say to you is keep that in mind. Now, I'm not someone who feels like, someone who has, trauma, someone who has had traumatic experiences, people who deal with mental health issues. I'm not someone who feels like those people are, like stay away from them. I'm not like that, right? I think everyone deserves the opportunity to be loved and appreciated. And there are people on this planet who are able to do that with people who are, even dealing with things that are very, very challenging. There are people who, they've made the decision to love someone who is schizophrenic. They've made the decision to love someone who has a true diagnosed personality disorder, and those things come with a lot of challenges to be in a relationship with someone who's dealing with that, right? This person has yet to really start to pick a way to see like what is under the surface, because they haven't had the self-esteem to deal with it. They haven't had the confidence to deal with it. They're avoiding all of that. So I think it's just really important for you, Capricorn, to know what you're getting into before going in full blast with this person. I don't think that this person is someone who I don't sense anything here with this person that is triggering alarm bells for me. But I do think it's gonna be a very challenging journey for them to fully kind of unpack everything, and they'll need support. And it's interesting to me because, like I said, I feel like you've made a shift recently to try to focus more on being a partner, being in a relationship, trying to see what that's like and navigating it. And, this one there's lots of potential here, but it's not necessarily an easy one. But I think in a way that works for you energetically, because it does require you to be really dependable and to be really strong and to help this person kind of navigate things and strategize and map out a plan. It's almost like they just need encouragement. Because they haven't had that. They haven't had someone rooting for them. They haven't. It's sad to me because I'm trying to scan their energy to see, have they had anyone that has been like, no, you're capable and you can accomplish whatever you want. And I don't think they have. This feels like a kind of a lifelong cycle. I mentioned their parents. I think this is something from like their childhood, and it's just something that's kept them locked in a pattern as they've grown as adults. Right? Let's take a look and see what your expectations are here. What is it that you're expecting? Well, there's that 9 of coins again. And then Judgment coming out here reversed. I'm okay with this. I'm perfectly okay with this. I think your expectations here, that even if you're wrong, even if your judgment is off, even if this doesn't like lead to where you think it might go, you're okay. Right? It's very interesting where you find yourself, Capricorn, because like I said, you're not looking for someone to offer you anything that you don't already have. So in terms of like being able to feel like you're secure and that you're safe, you've provided that for yourself. Feeling like you can have the type of things that you want, have the lifestyle that you want, you've done that for yourself. So what's interesting here in terms of the expectations is you're coming into this from a very interesting space, which is basically like, well, this doesn't work out, I'm not losing anything. I still have me, I still have my life, I still have my successes, I still have my job, I still have my friends. It's just this person wasn't the right person. There's someone else, right? It's a very healthy place to be, and I like that. I don't often encounter that sort of energy when I'm doing love readings for people, because a lot of times people who are watching readings and looking for answers, they're trying to justify staying in something that they know they need to leave. And I like that you're not in that space. You're not in that energy. I really like that a lot. Now, what's this person's expectations of the relationship? All right. That's not great, but this is that stuff that I'm talking about, right? 5 of Pentacles upright with the 10 of Cups, which is showing up reversed here. This person just feels like it's never going to work for them, right? They want it so bad. They want to have something that's amazing so bad, but they never get it. They're always sort of left, holding the bag, left with being, committed to someone who isn't committed to them, carrying all the weight on their own. And, their expectation, sadly, with this is that, it's not going to work. That's why I'm saying to you, this is not an easy connection. This is not an easy relationship, because this person's self-doubt will cause a lot of problems for them. And especially when they're not dealing with the same stuff that they're used to, when they can't in the past relationships that this person's had, when people kind of mistreat them, take advantage of them, their self-worth is tied up in that. So with you coming through with this, right? Well, if this doesn't work, I'm still fine. That triggers some stuff inside of them. I don't think that it's anything that's toxic. It feels very internalized to me. So that's why I'm saying you're going to have to be very aware of this person, pay close attention to them. Because when they sense your energy of well, I don't even think they would be fine if this doesn't work. They can't see that as being a healthy state of mind, right? Because it is a healthy state of mind. Instead, they see that as well, they don't think that I have anything to offer. They don't think I'm worth anything. They would be fine if they just, never talk to me again. They make up a narrative in their mind about this. So you're going to have to combat that if you're going to try to break through with them. And I think you can do it, but it's just a question of whether that's what you want, right? So let's see if there are any issues on your side, issues or obstacles from you. 4 of Cups coming out here with the 4 of Wands. So Capricorn, let me talk to you about this. Neither of these cards are bad cards. The combination of the two is a little bit... I understand why this might be showing up in terms of an issue or obstacle that you might be dealing with, right? So the 4 of Wands represents something that's very stable, okay? It is... very often this is associated with notions of home, family, friends, a very happy, blissful sort of existence, right? It's the thing that's almost kind of missing from this 9 of Pentacles. It's having people to share that wonderful life with, right? You overthink this. How do I want to explain this to you? In some ways, you can approach your relationships with the same sort of mindset that you approach work, success, things like that. But there's also... you can't just be in your mind about it. I think that's how I want to say it. You can't only engage your mind about this. You have to get to know this person. You have to let this person in. You have to understand this person's emotions and their personality so that you can sense those subtle shifts that might happen with them, so that you can know something's up and you can ask them. It's not as cerebral. And that's an issue for you, because you prefer to be able to think things through, trust your mind, have a strategy, have a plan, know what's happening, set goals. And that's not how this relationship can work, because it's going to be a series of ups and downs, and they'll make some progress and then they'll slide back. And if you're not kind of aware of that, you might miss it, right? And so if you're only in your head, you might think, okay, well, they're not talking about anything, they're not bringing anything up, things are good. But that's not true in relationships. We have to be able to sort of know the person well enough that we can sense when something might be going on that they're not talking to us about, and ask them about it. Okay, not a huge deal. It's not a huge deal, but it makes sense to me why this would show up as, in terms of like an issue or an obstacle on your side. Now let's take a look at the issues and obstacles on their side because I'm really curious. You have the Moon and then the Five of Cups. Now what I love here, okay, what I love here, the Moon card represents things that are unseen. I need to listen to our intuition. When the Moon card is upright, it really does represent like problems we don't know about, mysteries. Right? They're starting though, right? They've been very much this. They've been very much the Five of Cups upright. This is where the person's focused on what's been in the past, right? The things that have been lost. They're focused on the pain. They're not paying attention to this. They're starting to turn, right? Once they fully get here, they're not here yet. That's why it's showing up as an issue. They're not quite here yet, but they are moving towards that. And I think a lot of it is from dealing with you. Not dealing with you, but interacting with you, getting to know you. It's starting to shift the way that they think about things. As soon as they become aware that there's possibility, as soon as they start to feel some hope, some positivity, they get a little bit of self-confidence, guess what happens? They suddenly are willing to deal with this stuff. They're able to see it. They're able to listen to their intuition. But right now, they're not in that space. There's a block. And I think, that's been obvious with them throughout both of the readings, right? They don't fully understand what's happened to them. They don't fully understand how much they have internalized the things that they've dealt with, the people that they've dealt with, the things that have been said about them. And so because they don't even have that awareness, they're not yet in a place where they can start to unravel it or deal with it. So all that being said, we have the most likely outcome, the most likely future of this connection. What can you expect? And this is based on what's going on right now, where both people are, where is this heading? Doesn't mean this is the final end all be all, right? Because people are going to make decisions. Hopefully people are going to grow and change. This can shift. But right now, at the time that I'm reading this is the most likely outcome of this connection. So we have the Six of Swords and we have the Star card, which is reversed here. I want to start with the Star. I don't want to freak you guys out about this. I'm tuning into the energy to kind of see. Here's what I will say, Capricorn. Keep this in mind, what I talked about here. Even if this doesn't work out, even if this person can't manage to, see their stuff, even if this person doesn't make the progress, even if, it doesn't click, it doesn't work, it's fine. The purpose of this connection is really more so about allowing two people to be in a place that is safe, nurturing, supportive, to start to figure out the things that they need to figure out about relationships. Again, because this person's had a lot of bad ones, and I feel like you really haven't been focused on it very much at all, right? Do I see this going somewhere long term? It's hard to say right now, because right now, where things are at, mostly on the side of this other person, they have so much insecurity and so much doubt that I almost feel like, Capricorn, you will make a decision. Okay, here's what I'll say. Right now, if this person doesn't make progress, if this person doesn't understand things, if this person doesn't become more aware, if they don't understand themselves more, if they aren't doing the work that they need to do, that I've said they need to do, if they don't develop that awareness, Capricorn, you will make the decision to call this quits, right? Because again, you are looking to add someone into this, right? You're not going to suffer through something that is draining, because it's taking away. You want someone who's going to add to what you have. And you're willing to make sacrifices to an extent, as long as the person, again, like I said, right, as long as they're pushing themselves, they have ambition, they have goals, they have drive, they're trying to make things work. But if you don't see that, you're going to move on from it, right? And the question is whether or not this person's going to be able to do what they need to do, or they can be able to overcome this stuff. And right now it's unknown, right? Energetically it's unknown because they have to get there, right? So what I would say to you in terms of wrapping this up, and I'm going to just grab an oracle deck here because I want to get a couple of oracle cards out. Give it your best shot, Capricorn. Try to encourage this person. Try to show them you at your best. Try to mirror back to them the things that you really appreciate about them, the things that make them special, the things that make them, important to you, and then see what they do. See what they do with it, right? Do they start to internalize the stuff that you're saying? Does that start to carry weight with them? Or is it something that they just, they're just not able to do it and they need more time and space to really explore themselves and, maybe do some spiritual work or do some therapy, right? Like I said, they're very, very, very early in their journey of self-discovery. So there's a lot going against this. I'll say that. It doesn't mean that it's impossible, but it really hinges upon this person and their growth. And I think that makes sense to you, right? First card out here says, I let go of the shadow of the past by seeing someone for the first time with the eyes of love. This is about them. They have to see themselves. They have to manage to love themselves, right? And if they don't love themselves, you aren't going to be able to love them enough to make up for that, right? They have to let go of the past. They have to learn to see themselves through a better filter than what they see themselves right now. This is for you. I am a spirit having a human experience. I'm here to get closer to love. This is what I feel like is that awakening that you've gone through, Capricorn, where you've realized hey, you know what? There is one aspect of this world, there is one aspect of life, there is one aspect of being human that I've not fully committed myself to. And that's really about, trying to figure out relationships and connections with people and really being committed to it and having it be a priority in my life. And I like that. I really, really like that. And, like I said, if this person isn't the one, you're good. You're good. This is just an opportunity for you to learn what you love about this person, what you love about this connection. If it doesn't work, then you take that stuff forward and you say, okay, I want to find someone who has these things and also someone who maybe is a little bit more self-aware, maybe someone who has a little bit more ambition, right? Regardless, you're fine. Okay? All right. Thank you again. If you watched this extended reading, let me know what you thought about it. I'm going to send some energy to this person because I think, they just need some people to believe in them. That's really what it is at its core. Okay.